Welcome to Connor's pet care routine. Super quick and simple. A lot of you guys have asked for this video, so I went ahead and filmed it for you guys. So I'm going to take you along today. So the first part of taking care of anything for that matter is the dirty work. Obviously, we have to make sure we clean up after them, and so I'm using my favorite little handy dandy scooper right now. It's called a spotty, and it just it's like a rake and like a little like shovel, I guess, but it's like flat, so it's really easy to like scoop waste into. So I'm using that. I will have it listed down below. Anything that I use in this video that I feel could be useful, I'll list it down in the description box for you guys if you want to check it out. But so I'm using that to go ahead and clean this up, and the kids are running around the yard with the dog. I'm trying to do this once a week right now while it's warm. We just got Connor in October, so we didn't really follow too much pickup routine in the wintertime because obviously the ground was covered, but I'm trying to stay on top of it once a week, going out there and picking it up. He's pretty steady about where he goes, so I pretty much know where to go, so that's nice. As far as Connor's activity regimen, we don't have a set schedule, but he goes outside every day and runs around, and the kids play with him pretty often outside in the back too, and James runs them like whenever he gets around to it. Now, pre-quarantine, we used to get up about 7 a.m., but now it's just kind of whenever. I keep his dog food down here in this Ikea bin, and so somebody usually feeds him in the morning. It's all different now. Usually it's James or one of the girls, but he gets 1 cup to 1.5 cups of food twice a day and fresh water. And then usually he'll eat and then he'll go out for a bit and come back in. He's definitely a snuggle pup, so I mean he naps quite a bit too. He's not quite 1 yet. Now, as far as his grooming routine goes, I did order him some mane and tail. I'm waiting for it to come in the mail, but I'm gonna switch to using that. But for right now, I'm just using this Dawn Blue dish soap, and I don't use too much of it, but I just put it in the water and make it bubbly so that way his paws can soak, and then I pretty much clean the top of him with a little bit of it. He's never too dirty, but he does get filthy, so just enough to remove the dirt and odor and just get the excess oils off of him. And we do this about once a month.
Jig is up. Ugh. Ugh. Look here, look.
Hey, don't scream, guys. Doesn't like this.
He's like, why are you doing it?
I guess you left his collar on. Okay, boy, you're a good boy. You're a good boy.
Let's go, Jordan.
Bath time always cracks me up because he does do fairly well while he's in there. It's just always a struggle to get him in there initially. But then he does pretty fine throughout the process. But he feels, I think, bad because he knows he's not supposed to be sopping wet. Because even when it rains or while it was snowing, he waits at the back door when he comes in, and we put a towel down and we scrub his fur so that way he can dry off. So I think he just finds it extremely odd to get a bath, which I know a lot of dogs hate it and animals in general, but he does fairly well. But he's a dog. I forgot to mention too, I do use lukewarm water, so it's not hot and it's not cold either, but it's just a comfortable level. And Linda, if you see this, thank you so much for the suggestion about the fish oil capsules. I am going to get him some of those, and hopefully it will help with the shedding. I've also read that it's really good for their coat in general, their shiny coat, and for itching and stuff, so I will look into it. I know for some people you might find it super odd that we give Connor a bath in the bathtub, and that's just because it's so much easier for me, I feel, especially having this shower head hose. It's just like having a hose outside, and I like the more comfortable water temperatures, and he can't run to the yard, and I like to really dry him off before he goes directly outside so his feet don't get really muddy at first. So I don't know, especially if you have a smaller animal, you might want to try it, but be wary if you have a really super long haired dog because it might clog your drain. But his kind of just collects, and then I get it at the end. So Mr. Connor is such a loving pup. We're really lucky to have found him. Our first couple dogs that we tried to have when the kids were smaller, it just didn't work out. They were too aggressive, the kids weren't ready. But we're so ready now. He's such a great addition to the family. He's gonna be 1 on July 1st, so he's almost 1. So I think he won't get too much bigger. Actually, I think this is about gonna be his size, but I have noticed that he's seemingly getting longer instead of taller. So basically, in a few more short months, we'll know exactly his permanent size. I really want to get him a puppy haircut for the summertime, but I'm not entirely sure because as you can see he has like a cute little heart mark on his side, and I don't want it to go away because I just think it's so adorable, but I don't know. He hasn't grown out of it yet, so I think it's here to stay. I also like to take either like a wet wash rag or a wipe and just kind of wipe the inside of his ears. I kind of did it as he was getting out of the bath this time, but then I also dry it because like when I wash him I try not to get water in his ears to not create like any type of infection or anything. And as you can see, he just loves to be dried off. He'll actually keep coming back to keep getting dried more because he's used to this. Like I said, when he comes in he gets dried off, so he just loves the attention he gets when it's time to get dried.
He's a good boy. He's pretty. He's a pretty boy. He's a pretty boy. Your tail? Huh? Aw. I love you too. Love you too. Ooh. Who's a pretty boy? Who's a pretty boy? You. Boop.
Sucky ducky. He's a sucky ducky. Sucky ducky.
Just try to be gentle.
Come here, sucky ducky. He's a sucky ducky.
Are you coming?
Yeah, hang on. I'm brushing Connor's fur.
Come here. Sit. 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 Good boy. Let me see. These nails. So the other part of Connor's pet care routine is him getting his heart guard and flea and tick medication every month, but because of quarantine we haven't gotten it, so he needs a new script of that. And because we've just been in here for so long, I took it upon myself to go ahead and start to learn to trim his nails. So I ordered these off of Amazon. I tried not to get too cheapy of a pair so I wouldn't have too hard of a time. I thought these worked out really good. They also have like a safety guard on them, so I can, if I want to, clip more, but allows me to clip less, you know, without the risk. So he did really good for this, and when we were at the vet they just used peanut butter, so I went ahead and did the same thing. And I think that him getting his bath first helped because it like loosened up the nails, and the directions did say that that would help. Now moving on, I'm just going to go ahead and brush him out. Now I try to brush him out just every so often. He's pretty short hair, so he doesn't require a ton of maintenance, but he is shedding a lot because of the seasonal changes, so I'm just trying to get him all brushed out. Like I said, I might be giving him a little bit of a haircut soon, but I would prefer to take him to the vet for that. I don't want to do that myself, so I'm just trying to keep him brushed out for now, and then of course vacuuming like crazy. Now during this time I would like to keep his collar off, so while he dries, and then also like if I notice that the collar is, you know, it smells or anything, I'll clean that up too. He is a lot bigger than when he got this one, so I'm in the market for a new one. So if you guys want to leave me any good brands of collars, I'd love to hear it. Sometimes he slips out of this one, so any suggestions would be great. But because the girls were playing on this day too and opening and closing the doors, I just didn't want him to get out and not have his collar on, so that's why you'll see me put his collar back on really quickly. Also, I know I already talked about it, but I just wanted to quickly mention that while clipping his nails, I think the fact that his paws were soaking in the tub prior to clipping them, I think that really helps soften the nail up. It did say to do that after a bath, to clip the nails after the bath, so I think that since the water was high enough for his nails to soak, that it helped.
Who's a good boy? All right. Go outside.
He's a sucky ducky.
Ew.
Okay, so this is the brush that I got for Connor, and I've seen this on Pinterest, and so basically when you're done, you just push this button right here, and then it pushes all the hair up like this, so you can just kind of collect it. Ew. So, got a lot of hair off him. I'm actually gonna brush him again once he's dry. I'll probably use like a different brush or comb, but this is really convenient, and the bristles are pretty small, so it really gets in there. And these were the toenail clippers I used. These were 2 different brands, but I'll link them down below if you guys want to check them out. But I tried to pick one that didn't seem super cheap, so I wouldn't have a hard time, because this is the first time I ever clipped his nails. But this one, sorry, I have a lot of hair on me, because that's the joys of doggyhood. But this one has a little safety on it, so that way when you open it, you can put the safety, and then it like blocks it, so that way you don't have to worry about cutting the quick of their nails. And if you do it when it's really bright out, you can really see where the quick is. I think on most animals, it's like more pink in the nail. And so this makes it simple to not cut too far. So I did it. I think I did a good job. I might have to do this like once every 2 weeks just to kind of stay in the mark where I feel safe about it. But yeah, this safety helped a lot if you'd never clipped your dog's nails before. And giving him peanut butter, he just doesn't care once I do that. And he took it really well. I didn't even have to like mess around with him or anything. So that's what we did for our puppy care routine for grooming. Now, being that he's only 1, he doesn't have too stinky of breath or anything, so we only give him greenies just every so often, and that helps, I think. But if you have dental care suggestions, I would be glad to hear them. But I hope you guys enjoyed coming along for today's puppy care routine. It was super quick and simple. Just straight to the point. We don't do too much, but he does still require a lot of care, and of course a huge abundance of love.
Come here. What's you doing? To be a good boy. You good boy. You're gonna get all muddy out here probably.